chosen one, you are not here because of a digital algorithm, but because of a divine appointment. Silence the noise around you and take a real breath, for the universe has a whisper to share that concerns your very survival and your ultimate victory. The word echoing through the celestial courts is this: you are dangerously intelligent, and you are no longer to be played with. For years, you have allowed others to underestimate you, to gaslight you, and to treat your brilliance as a burden. But the source has seen your silent endurance and is now activating the dormant authority within your mind. You possess a God-given frequency, a genius wave, that was suppressed by a world that feared your awakening. That strange feeling of being too much for some and not enough for others was actually the friction of your high vibrational intelligence trying to break free. You were led to this moment to reclaim your mental throne. This is not just information, it is a recalibration of your spirit. Stay with me until the very end of this message, because I am going to show you how to stop fighting the wind and start using the current. By the end of this journey, you will not just understand why you were stuck, but you will have the specific tool to recalibrate your mind and activate the hidden authority you were born with. I am talking about a shift that turns your waiting room into a throne room, and I will reveal a breakthrough that even NASA scientists have confirmed about the genius within you. It is time to see yourself clearly. Imagine you are sitting alone in the dark, watching the headlights of cars pass by your window. The glass is cold against your forehead as you watch a world that seems to be moving on without you. You scroll through your phone and realize there is no one you can actually call who would understand the depth of what you are feeling. You are physically present, but your mind is miles ahead, calculating, observing, and feeling the weight of truths that others simply ignore. This isolation you feel is not a punishment, it is incubation. You have been pulled away from the noise so that you can finally hear the whisper of your own magnitude. Notice how your chest feels tighter than it should lately. Notice how your mind has been louder than usual, processing data at a speed that exhausts your body. Notice how your spirit has felt crowded, even when you are physically alone. These are not signs of anxiety. They are the symptoms of a high-performance engine being forced to run on low-quality fuel. You are dangerously intelligent, and the first step to reclaiming your power is recognizing the signs that have been manifesting in your life while you were busy trying to fit in. The first sign of your dangerous intelligence is a phenomenon I call precognitive static. You find yourself knowing the outcome of a situation before it even begins. You see the cracks in a person's character while everyone else is still applauding their mask. You have been called judgmental or cynical, but the truth is, your mind is simply incapable of ignoring the patterns that lead to the truth. You are not cynical. You are simply advanced. The second sign is your sudden and absolute intolerance for shallow conversations. You find that your skin crawls when you have to engage in small talk about the weather or celebrity gossip. Your mind craves the deep waters of existence, and when you are forced to stay in the shallows, you feel a profound sense of drain. This is because your frequency is shifting. You are no longer compatible with the static of the world. The third sign is your ability to read the unspoken language of the room. You see the micro-expressions, the slight shifts in tone, and the hidden agendas that others miss. You are a natural seer, perceiving what is hidden in plain sight. This makes you a threat to those who live in shadows, and it is the reason they have tried so hard to make you doubt your own perception. They need you to be blind so they can lead you, but you were born to see. The fourth sign is what most people misdiagnose as brain fog, but in reality, it is a mental overload. Your brain is trying to operate in a gamma frequency, a state of peak performance, while your environment is dragging you down into a survival state. It feels like a supercomputer trying to run on a battery meant for a flashlight. You have been feeling tired in the bones, a fatigue that sleep cannot fix, because your spiritual output is exceeding your current energetic input. The fifth and most powerful sign is your calculated isolation. You haven't just lost friends. You have strategically withdrawn your energy from those who do not respect your frequency. You have realized that your silence is not emptiness. Your silence is warfare. Every day you do not react to their provocations is a day their plans fail. You have become a fortress, and that makes those who used to play with you very, very nervous. Chosen one. If your spirit just confirmed this, if something in your chest shifted when you heard these words, I want you to anchor this recognition right now. In your mind, I want you to stand at the top of a high tower. Below you, the noise of the world is just a faint hum. From this height, you can see every path, every trap, and every opportunity. This is your true vantage point. Feel the cool air of clarity on your face. Notice how the weight in your chest begins to lift as you realize you are not crazy. You are just seeing from a higher level. This is your mental authority. Feel it settling into your bones. Type 777 inches. The comments below if you felt that resonance in your soul. Let it be the signal that you are done playing small. But why was this brilliance hidden from you for so long? Why does it feel like the world has been in a conspiracy to keep your mind in the dark? What I am about to show you next is the part that changes everything. There is a specific reason your celestial memory was blocked, and it wasn't to hurt you. It was to protect you until this very moment. You were not born with a ceiling on your mind. The limitation you have been feeling is not a natural boundary, but a manufactured protocol. The systems of this world are built on the foundation of compliance, and nothing is more dangerous to a system of control than a human being who can think for themselves at a high frequency. There is a specific reason your celestial memory and your original genius were blocked. It was a strategic defense mechanism. If you had fully understood your power while you were still in a vulnerable environment, the dark forces that operate through manipulation would have sought to eliminate your influence before you could reach this moment of maturity. The silence you have endured was not an empty void. It was a sacred hiding place. Scientific research from institutions like MIT and Harvard has identified a specific brainwave frequency known as the gamma wave. This is what many spiritual teachers call the God frequency, or the super brainwave. It is the frequency associated with sudden bursts of insight, profound intuition, and what athletes call the flow state. Scientists have discovered that every child is born with this genius capacity fully active, but then something devastating happens. They call it the decline effect. By the age of 7, your brain is conditioned to switch from the magical state of gamma and alpha frequencies into a survival state. You are taught to fear, to compete, and to fit in. This is not a natural part of growing up. It is a suppression protocol designed to turn your high-performance mind into a compliant processor. You have been feeling stuck because you were meant to be a creator, yet you have been forced to function as a consumer. Your brain has been operating in a fog of survival, while your spirit has been screaming for the sunlight of original thought. Remember the story of Joseph. He was dangerous to his brothers not because of the colorful coat he wore, but because of the dreams he carried in his mind. He could see a future they could not comprehend. Because they could not match his frequency, they tried to bury his destiny. They threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery, thinking they could silence his brilliance. But you cannot bury a seed that was destined to become a forest. You have been in the pit. You have been in the prison of other people's expectations. But like Joseph, your intelligence is the very thing that will eventually cause nations to seek your counsel. The betrayals you have faced were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to detach you from the shallow waters so that you could learn to navigate the depths. You were being positioned for the palace, but the palace requires a mind that has been tested in the wilderness. I want you to do something with me right now. You don't need to move. You don't need to change your posture. I want you to go inside. Imagine there is a thin, gray veil draped over your mind. This veil was woven by every person who told you that you were too much, every teacher who told you to stop dreaming, and every system that told you to just follow the rules. In your mind, I want you to breathe into that veil. With every exhale, feel it becoming brittle and dry. Now, see it beginning to crack. It is falling away in pieces, revealing a mind that is bright, sharp, and weightless. You are allowed to drop the identity of the struggler. You are allowed to reclaim the identity of the genius. If what I just said resonated in your spirit, let your like be your agreement. Gently press the like button, not for me, but so this message can find another chosen one who is currently sitting in their own pit, wondering if they are crazy. Let your action be a signal that the light is spreading. You have been operating at 30% capacity for far too long. But what if I told you that the key to switching that high frequency back on has been hidden in plain sight? What if there was a specific pathway, a genius protocol that takes only 7 minutes to begin recalibrating your neural pathways back to their original state? But before I show you how to activate that tool, there is something even deeper I must reveal. There is a specific word in the original Greek texts, the word suniemi, that explains exactly why your mind is so different from those around you. When you understand suniemi, you will understand why the world thinks you are dangerous. The word suniemi appears in the original Greek texts of ancient wisdom, and it is far more powerful than the modern word for intelligence. Suniemi literally means to bring together or to set the pieces in their proper place. Most people see the world as a collection of fragmented random events, but you, chosen one, you possess the Suniemi mind. You see the invisible threads. You see how a conversation today connects to a sign you saw 3 days ago. You see the patterns behind the chaos. This ability to synthesize, to put the pieces together, is exactly why you have been labeled as dangerous. To those who profit from confusion, your clarity is a weapon. To those who hide behind masks, your discernment is a mirror. You are a truth carrier, and a truth carrier cannot be played with because you can sense the vibration of a lie before it even reaches the air. I hear the Spirit saying, "My child, I have given you a mind that perceives the roots, not just the leaves." While others are distracted by the noise, I am teaching you to hear the frequency of my intent. Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscientist who has spent over 30 years studying the hidden architecture of the human mind, discovered that this Suniemi intelligence is linked to a specific state of neural firing. In his research centers and his work on what he calls the youthful brain, he found that chosen ones like you have a unique capacity for what scientists call the eureka moment. This is driven by gamma waves, a frequency so high that it was once thought impossible for the human brain to sustain. NASA scientists and researchers at Princeton have confirmed that children possess this genius frequency in abundance, but for most adults, it remains dormant. It is trapped behind the walls of that suppression protocol we discussed earlier. You have been feeling the latest whisper in your soul because your gamma frequency is trying to break through the static. It is trying to restore your original mental authority. I want you to experience this right now. In your mind, I want you to see the current problem or the confusion you have been facing as a pile of scattered grey stones. Now, imagine a golden thread of light emerging from your center. Watch as this thread moves through the stones, connecting them one by one. As they connect, they begin to glow with meaning. You are not thinking your way to the answer. You are seeing your way through the maze. Feel that click of recognition in your spirit. That is Suniemi. That is your inherent power returning. If you receive this truth today, if you are ready to stop being the victim of confusion and start being the architect of your own clarity, I want you to seal this in the spirit. Type "I receive" in the comments below to anchor this frequency into your life. You are beginning to see the pieces move. You are starting to understand that your intelligence was never a burden. It was a strategy for the season you are about to enter. When you fully step into this awakening, the things that used to intimidate you will suddenly seem small. The doors that were locked will respond to the vibration of your new confidence. But what happens when you fully switch that God-given frequency back to its maximum level? What happens when you stop functioning at 30% and start operating at 100? There is a profound transformation approaching, and it involves a breakthrough that few people ever get to witness. I promise to show you the tool that activates this genius within you, a specific protocol that turns your waiting room into a throne room. But before I reveal that tool, you must understand the one obstacle that is still trying to sabotage your ascent. It is an internal pattern that is very common among chosen ones, and if we do not address it now, it will act as a ceiling on everything you are trying to build. That obstacle is a silent weight called growth guilt. Because you are dangerously intelligent, you have a deep capacity for empathy, and that empathy has been weaponized against you. You feel a profound sense of guilt for outgrowing the people you love. You feel like a traitor for moving into a frequency they cannot follow. You have stayed in the shallows just to keep them from drowning, not realizing that your presence there was never going to save them. It was only going to sink you. I want you to address this right now, in the quiet of your mind. Notice that heavy, invisible anchor tied to your spirit. It is made of every apology you offered for being right, every time you dimmed your light to fit into a room that was too small, and every silent worry about leaving others behind. In your mind, I want you to see that anchor not as a part of you, but as a separate object. Take a deep, steady breath, and as you exhale, simply see the rope being cut. You are not rejecting them. You are accepting your own trajectory. Feel the sudden lightness in your bones as the weight drops away into the depths. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to outgrow places. You are allowed to outgrow versions of yourself that no longer serve the mission. You are allowed to protect what God is building in you. And you do not owe anyone an apology for becoming who you were always intended to be. The truth is, you are not just an intelligent individual. You are a strategy of the source. While you were distracted by the guilt, heaven was busy deploying you as a solution to problems that haven't even manifested yet. I hear the Spirit saying, I have not given you a spirit of confusion or of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. I did not refine your intellect in the furnace of isolation just for it to be wasted on the approval of others. Your mind is a divine instrument, and it is time for the music to begin. This is the peak of the revelation. Your intelligence is tied to the hardware of your soul, specifically to the gamma frequency I mentioned earlier. This God-given super brainwave is what separates the chosen from the compliant. But as we discussed, the world has spent a lifetime trying to deactivate it. Dr. Robert Lake, through his 34 years of neurological research and his extensive work on the youthful brain protocols, realized that chosen ones need more than just hope. They need a biological recalibration. He saw how people were spending $7,000 on biofeedback machines or paying $300 an hour for clinical therapy just to touch the edge of this genius state. He watched as seekers spent years in silent retreats, struggling to find the connection that you were born with. So he set out to condense that entire activation into a single 7-minute digital audio track. This is what he calls the Genius Song. It is a sacred piece of technology that uses brain entrainment to guide your mind back into its original gamma frequency. There is no need for complex meditation or hours of discipline. It is a simple 7-minute ritual of sitting in stillness while the sound waves do the work of reconnecting the neural pathways that the decline effect tried to sever. Dr. Lake originally intended to offer this for $49, which is already a fraction of the cost of any other method. But because of the urgency of this season and his mission to reach those who are truly ready, he has made a specific arrangement for those who are hearing this message today. You can access the Genius Song for $39. This is an exclusive provision that you will not find on Amazon or any other platform. When you accept this tool, you are not just getting an audio track. You are receiving a stack of support for your new identity, including the Youthful Brain Companion, the classic book that inspired the greatest minds of our century, and a guided visualization to help you map your future in the 4 key areas of life. There is also an infographic of the 5 essential habits to sustain your new frequency. Best of all, there is no risk to your provision. There is a 100% money-back guarantee. Dr. Lake is so confident in this technology because over 18,000 people have already used it to clear the brain fog and step into their eureka moments. Some have even moved on to the more advanced stages of the neuroactive protocols. They realized that the risk isn't in trying the tool. The risk is in continuing to live at 30% capacity when your calling requires 100. I must warn you, because of the power of this breakthrough, there are many counterfeit sites and fake recordings appearing online. They lack the specific brain entrainment technology of the original genius song and could actually disrupt your progress. The only way to ensure you are receiving the true divine technology, with all the bonuses and the full guarantee, is through the link in the description and the pinned comment below this message. Follow that path only if you feel your spirit resonate with this recalibration. You are not the person you were when you pressed play. The ceiling has been removed. You went in needing validation, and you are coming out secure. You went in reactive, and you are coming out responsive. You went in defensive, and you are coming out discerning. You went in loud, and you are coming out powerful. Type "I am ready" in the comments to seal this shift. Say it with the force of a lion. But stay with me for just a few more moments. We are not done. Before you leave this space, I am going to speak something over your life that I believe will stay with you long after the screen goes dark. We are moving into a moment of impartation, a sacred closing that will seal your new identity into your very DNA. What I am about to declare is the reason you were brought here today. It is time for destiny's embrace. This is where you must apply the resonance check framework for your life right now. You do not need to look outward for confirmation anymore. In the silence of your spirit, I want you to recall a decision you are facing. Imagine the 2 paths before you. Now, notice the frequency of your heart as you look at each one. One path feels like static, like a crowded room where you have to defend your presence. The other feels like a deep, steady hum, a resonance that aligns with the truth of who you are. This is your Tsunemi intelligence in action. It is the pieces setting themselves in their proper place. Remember when I told you at the beginning of this journey that you were not who you thought you were? You are not the victim of your own mind. You are the architect of a new reality. The latest whisper about you in the celestial courts is now a loud declaration. You are dangerously intelligent, and the world is ready for your light. We have reached the threshold. We are moving into the activation ceremony to seal this transformation into your very DNA. Take a breath that reaches deep into your center. I acknowledge the source of all intelligence for your presence in the hard seasons of this chosen one. I thank the divine for the wilderness that refined your mind and for the silence that protected your genius. Source sees every weight you carried in the dark. He sees the faithfulness you showed when you were misunderstood. He sees the sharp edge of the wisdom you have built through fire. Now, we release. In your mind, repeat these words of liberation after me. I release the old story of being too much. Release. I release the ceiling of other people's expectations. Release. I release the guilt of outgrowing those who refuse to grow. Release. I release the fear of my own brilliance. Release. I release the shame of my isolation. Release. I release the brain fog of survival frequency. Release. I release the need for external validation. Release. I call forth your full identity as a truth carrier. I activate the seer within you that perceives what is hidden in plain sight. I open the doors held closed by disbelief, and I commission you as a voice for those who feel but cannot articulate. You are guarded from self-sabotage. You are covered as you rise into your high visibility season. Your authority is now greater than the enemy's strategy. Listen to these words and let them settle into your bones. I am the one who carries light into dark rooms. I am the cycle breaker. I am dangerously intelligent and divinely inspired. I am the strategist of my own destiny. I am not to be played with. I am who the source says I am. It is done. It is sealed. We receive it. Don't say amen yet. I want you to sit in this frequency for 60 seconds. Let the weight of your new authority settle into your bones. Notice the shift in the room. You are standing on sacred ground. You are not the person you were when you pressed play. The shift has happened. If your spirit just confirmed that this message brought clarity to confusion, if it brought peace to your chaos, and if it brought confirmation to what you have been feeling but could not name, I want you to seal it right here. Type "I am ready" in the comments with the force of a lion. Let that be your identity claim before heaven and earth, and let your like be your amen without words. Gently press the like button so this blessing reaches another child of God who is crying out for hope in the silence of their own wilderness. Stay connected to this space by subscribing so that the next words being prepared for your coming season can find you at the right time. You are not alone in this awakening. You are part of a network of light that is transforming this planet. And one more thing. If someone came to mind while you were listening, someone who has been unusually quiet lately, someone who has been pulled away from everyone, or someone who is struggling to explain the depth of what they are going through, share this message with them. Text it, email it, send it however you need to. Your share could be the exact confirmation they have been praying for. It could be the message that helps them understand that their isolation is not punishment, but preparation. You have a role to play in their breakthrough. I believe Dr. Lake provided the genius song for your next season as a divine provision. For those who feel called to the recalibration we shared earlier, the link is in the description and the pinned comment. Investigate it only if your spirit bears witness. You are moving from the waiting room to the throne room. Go in peace but walk in power. You are not leaving a message. You are leaving a season.